Right now, though, we segue into Tobago, where we're talking about 16 days of activism. We have a guest via Skype in the Tobago studio, founder of Woman of Substance, Onika Mars. Good morning. And live in studio here, we have with us Noreen Nalia, Deputy Public Affairs Officer at the U.S. Embassy. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Is Onika on the line? Good morning, Onika.
Hi, good morning.
Hi,
good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Noreen.
Okay, wonderful. So we have you on the line, and as we get ready to see you, I'm going to start with Noreen, who's going to tell us how is the U.S. Embassy involved in the 16 days of activism?
Well, thank you for having me again. For the U.S. Embassy, the 16 days of activism and ending gender-based violence is an important priority. Mm-hmm. We have protecting vulnerable populations, which includes battered women, as one of our main priorities, and we're happy to partner with Onika on this project. So we've brought in sponsored a speaker from the United States to come to this, to come to her conference, which will be held on December 3rd here in Port of Spain at the U.S. Embassy.
Right.
And then we have the same conference happening on December 6th, where the speaker will be there. I will also be presenting as both, because prior to becoming a diplomat, I was an attorney for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault.
So this is personal to you. You have personal stories.
Yes, it is. And it is excellent when your job and your passions can coincide like that.
Yes.
So I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity.
Yeah. So Onika, you're probably very pleased and excited to have the best of both worlds, really, with the conference happening in Trinidad as well as Tobago. So tell us about the work that you're doing.
Definitely. We have been working with victims of domestic violence and abuse and creating the awareness, right? Mm-hmm. Being a survivor, it is very important for me to offer that support and to create the awareness, right? Because we have a lot of women who are suffering in silence. Mm-hmm. So we really look forward to partnering with the U.S. Embassy with this conference on violence against
women and girls.
This conference on violence against women and girls. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be happening, as Noreen said, in Trinidad on December 3rd and in Tobago on December 6th.
So in terms of the participants, are you speaking to women who might be in a situation now as a victim, and you want them to come and hear how they can come out of the situation? Who are you targeting for this workshop, this conference?
We are targeting professionals and also agencies who deal with domestic violence and abuse.
Okay. Yes.
We are also targeting members of the public, because we are creating the awareness, and we want agencies to come together as we fight and try to eliminate violence against women and girls.
Okay, so you are looking at the solution providers, and this conference is helping them to come up with better solutions to help the victims.
Definitely.
All right. So, Noreen, in terms of this conference targeting the solutions, the persons who are part of the solution, in your work with the victims of domestic violence, how important is it to have a network available to victims?
I mean, I can't stress the importance enough. As an attorney, I worked very closely with first responders, and there's a specific training that first responders to victims of domestic violence and sexual assault, there's a specific training they receive that's different from, you know, EMT or that kind of emergency medical training.
Right.
It's how to deal with victims who, you know, in the case of children, may not be able to articulate what's happening to them, or people who are suffering from this great amount of trauma, and perhaps the people who should be most supporting them are not. They're part of the problem as opposed to the solution. So you have to work with mental health providers, you have to work with housing specialists, you have to work with all levels of people, victim compensation organizations, all of those. So that network is key.
All right, wonderful. Okay, so Onika, finally, as we wrap, how can persons participate? Do they just come, or are they expected to pre-register to be part of the conference, Onika?
Okay, so we have asked persons to pre-register. Unfortunately, we have closed registration for Trinidad since the response has been really overwhelming. And I want to say a huge thank you to Trinidad, right? We still have a few spaces available in Tobago, right? Registration has not closed. So we are asking persons to reach out to us and register since we will be closing on Friday.
Okay, which is this Friday, the 29th of November.
Definitely.
All right. So continue to do the good work that you're doing, Onika Maz, the founder of Women of Substance. And thanks for your support, Noreen Nalia, Deputy Public Affairs Officer at the U.S. Embassy.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so right now we're going to take in a few messages and come right back. You know what? We still have just about 20 more minutes to go to the top of the hour. We're not making you late. I promise you that, but you do want to stay with us until 8 o'clock after this.